This project shows how I teach kindergartners how to use a paintbrush without using any paint. Painting involves so many different elements and so many different tools: paper, aprons, water, paint, brushes, the drawing rack, that it can be a lot to teach the kids to use everything all at once. For this project, I'm concentrating on showing the students how to use a paintbrush on paper without adding all the messiness of multiple paint colors. I have another paint project that they do earlier in the year as part of my shape unit, where they've had some of the same practice, putting on their aprons, waiting their turn, but that's really more like stamping because we're using these round sponge brushes to make circles more than painting. So later in the year, we do this tissue paper project. Instead of paint, we use small dishes of glue water. And the paintbrushes I use are either my oldest, worst paintbrushes that have already been set aside, or sometimes I use sponge brushes. I never go out and buy the sponge brushes, but if someone's donated them to me and I have enough handy, I'll go ahead and use those. I use those all week during the 5-day rotation, and then at the end of the project, I just throw them away. So this project is all about process, teaching the kids how we set up for painting, the steps we go through, and this is going to set them up for painting with tempera, watercolor, acrylic through all the years of K-5. This is your opportunity to teach the kids exactly how you want it done in your classroom. And the first thing we do in my classroom is to put on those aprons. And then everybody is seated at their spot. Now, I find for this project, because they're not taking it with them right away, it is much better to just go ahead and have their names on the paper before they even walk in the room. I use a heavyweight paper, sometimes even poster board, definitely at least a heavy cardstock. The paper needs to be able to stand up to a lot of wet. And I said, this is all about process. So whatever sort of lesson you have about paintbrush care, this is the time to give it. Beth's Brush House has got a great song, This Is How We Hold Our Paintbrush. Cassie Stevens teaches the kids to treat the paintbrush like a ballerina, always on her tippy toes. Everything you want to teach about where to get them, how to use them, where to put them away, this is the time to do it. This is also when we're learning about how to use the drawing rack. Does everybody put their own thing on the drawing rack? Do you put it on the drawing rack for them? Are you going to call them by tables? Set your routines now so they're already familiar when you go on to the more complex project. I make the glue water with a mix of just white glue and water. You want it thin enough to spread easily, but still enough glue that it's sticky. With tissue paper, it really doesn't take a lot of glue. You can use standard tissue paper. I get mine at the Dollar Tree. Or you can use the artist bleeding tissue paper. I prefer the non-bleeding, but I'll use whatever I've got. I will have pre-cut different shapes and put them in little trays, usually one tray for 2 to 3 students. I like to have a choice of colors and shapes, and you can tear the paper as well. We add the paper by first painting just with the glue, and then putting the paper in the glue spot and painting over the top of that. So we get lots of practice using the paintbrush without worrying about mixing up paint colors. This makes cleanup so easy. Although I usually pre-cut all the paper I'm going to need for the whole week, I only put a handful of it into each tray. I want them to have the choice, but as you can see, it gets to be a sticky mess. At cleanup time, I save what's salvageable, and I just scoop everything else into the trash. It's tissue paper, it's plentiful and cheap. If you are using the bleeding tissue paper, glue water is going to turn colors once you start painting. They love this discovery. As you can see, my friend here has been very what we call dynamic in his work, whereas this friend is being very precise. Either way is fine. I don't put too much glue water in their dish at a time, just to avoid a mess if it spills. And it's really easy to wipe down these tables, although I appreciate how tidy this friend is being. You can see here also some of the different shapes that I've cut the paper into. Some of my students really get into it and will work the whole period. Others will put a few things on and they're like, okay, I'm done. But this is fine because then you don't have to clean up everybody at the same moment. The students that are finished early, you could get their stuff on the rack, get their aprons off, their hands wiped off, and give them a coloring project while everyone else is still working. You can see he has cut up his paper into tiny little chunks. Again, this is okay with me. That glue water is not going to hurt those scissors, and he is clearly lost in his project. Some of my students place their shapes very carefully. Some of them go all out. I don't encourage this. I really want them to leave the paper on there, But some of the students have experienced bleeding tissue before and they think they're supposed to pull the paper off. Some of them just like doing it. If you want to go for that effect or not is fine. Either way, they're learning how to use the brush. A small proportion of my students, maybe about 15%, will decide to do a representative picture. And I think that's really clever too. It's very open-ended how they want to interpret the assignment. If you're using bleeding tissue, your glue will start to get colored. If it's not too bad, I just keep reusing it. But usually it stays pretty clear and I just collect it all into one container with a lid on it for the next day. If not, it's easy to rinse out the bowls. After we put our work on the drying rack and taken our aprons off, everybody gets hand wipes. We're going to wipe off our hands and the table. Hands and table, hands and table. Some students enjoy the wiping things off as much as they did the painting. And the brushes I just collect and toss into a tub of soapy water to clean up at lunchtime. I have a hierarchy of my brushes. New good brushes start out as watercolor brushes. After they're not so fresh, they move down to tempera and acrylic. When they're not up to those standards, I put them in a bin to be shared with teachers who ask, hey, do you have any paintbrushes? And the step below that is the glue brushes. So don't use your good brushes for this. And after it's dry, you have a great display for the bulletin board. Getting display-worthy work out of a kindergartner is a challenge, but this project always makes a great display. I'm Heidi Howe, and if you like this idea, you might like some of the many, many, many other videos I have on my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Facebook.